Right, so you know how like the biggest, I think literally the absolute number one biggest thing I've done is save the Muslim women. That's why Samira, do you remember at Range Plus when I gave you a squeeze? Hang on. You know, remember when I squeezed you, like I absolutely squeezed you and hugged you, because you remind me of Lindsay Lohan. Like you actually got like a bit of like, your eyes have got like a bit of like coolness and swagger about you, but you're like covered in a hijab and being groomed by Islam, like groomed by Islamic men just trying to like keep you as like slaves and all that. So it's like, the biggest thing I've done is I've saved Islamic women. And like, you know, like those two on that Mooney, bit of Endem Mooney, like Starlight Zone, like the best one, like in the future, what you're going to do, like the first thing you need to do is memorize the Quran, but only like use like the good parts of the Quran, like all at the birds and the trees and like all the good verses in the Quran, like the early parts of the Quran. So like here's an example, you know, like Starlight Zone, which is like a lovely like so like I only know a little bit of the Quran, but like you'll go like La ilaha la La ilaha illallah da 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 Allahu Akbar La ilaha illallah. So like what Allah wants, like Allah created music to show you what melodies could sound like, but Allah doesn't want you to like use musical instruments or say like obscene, like dirty words. So like what you do is like use all like a song that follows my formula, like Tidal Tempest G Mix Japanese version and Collision Chaos Good Future G Mix Japanese version, or like Thomas the Tank Engine, or like Remember the Time. So like you like in the melody of the songs of like the instruments, like you'll have like a choir of like people, instead of saying like, no, do you remember the time when we fell in love, with all like the instruments, right? Instead of the instruments and do you remember the time, it's all like the recitation of the good verses of the Quran. So it's like I don't know too much of the Quran. I know a bit of the Quran, but it's like I like, you know, like anyone, like you remember, the first thing you do is memorize the good verses of the Quran, not the bad ones where it's saying like kill everyone, Satan's the enemy. Actually when you're born, you memorize just the good parts of the Quran. There's actually the truth, not the parts that are tricking you. And then like using like my mashups or like good songs or like create your own music, but like when instead of the music of the future would be like the recitation of the Quran in the melodies of like Remember the Time or Inner Amazing, right? Instead of saying like, you know, like all these songs like Inner Amazing, for example, Inner Amazing, right? It's an amazing song, but she was like exposing herself to the world, like being like, oh look, I'm so attractive, like I'm gonna like make all these men really uncomfortable in the shower, you know, like that Inner Amazing. She's like, I'm gonna like tease them and taunt them. You don't actually want to be like that. You want to just be like, you know, like how women and men need, how I'm dressed is how women and men should dress, like 3 quarter lengths and zip pockets and like sunglasses and like a hat that tilts to the right like that, and like stop trying to like, it's like, you know, like no one's right, you know, like most not no one, but like most people aren't right. Like the Muslim women are completely covered up, which is wrong, and a lot of Western women are completely exposing themselves, which is wrong. You need to find like a happy medium where like everyone wears what I'm wearing, like 3 quarter lengths, and like the place you go, I found like Kabil, I can't pronounce it, Qabail clothing. They sell it in France. They should sell it all worldwide. It's amazing. And then like Moomen in like, it's like modern Islamic clothing. Like, the biggest thing is zip pockets. So like when you have clothes, you have like with clothes you want to have 3 quarter lengths and like loose, like baggy clothes, but like it covers the aura. You have zip pockets so like your keys and your phone won't fall out. And you want to have like range of motion. You don't want to wear a phobe where you can't kick a football or play golf. You want to have like range of motion. And then it's like the women don't have to wear a hijab. This is the biggest thing. I think like the biggest thing for like, I've saved the Islamic women. The women, like you don't have to wear a hijab. You know, but like, you know, like the Muslim women, Islam doesn't have it right, and the Western society doesn't have it right. Like South Korea is like the worst. Like all their women are just like tarty, skanky, like dressing in skanky, like K-pop and all that. They're like the K-pop people. The K-pop women are like the worst. They're just like going, oh look, la 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 la. I'm a little tart, like showing off my body and being a skank. It's like you've got to find a happy medium where like everyone in the world is like, all the Muslim women and all the Western and Asian women all wearing like what I'm wearing. Like a woman can wear a bit more feminine, like the men need to dress like me and the women need to dress a bit like me, but a bit more feminine and beautiful. But like the biggest thing is like zip pockets, like a mass, like it gives you peace of mind, you know. If you've got like loose pockets and you're sitting on a bus, like you're always anxious like your keys or your phone will fall out. So like for me, whenever I look for clothes, it's like I'm always looking for zip. But I found my clothes now, like Kabil Kabil clothing is the best clothing, trust me. On Moomin, I put it on my Philip John Platt's channel, Kabil. They should just like expand upon their range and make more clothes. Like this sort of 3/4 length outfit is like basically everything that I'm doing is like what Allah wants you to do. How Philip John Platt's is how Allah wants everyone to be. So like, the biggest thing I've done is save the Islamic women. Like you're allowed to dance, you're allowed to dance, but you can't like be showing off and like wearing like leotards and like gymnastics clothing. You can dance. You got to just be like me. Basically, just look at me and be like me. A man and a woman. Like men and women could like learn from me and just be like me. Like you just got to expand upon your range, and like a woman needs to be feminine. Like men and women need to be masculine and feminine, but a woman needs to be more feminine than masculine, and a man needs to be more masculine than feminine. But like a woman needs to have like a slight bit of masculinity, like ever so slight bit of masculinity, like a bit of coolness, like how that Samira was. I recognise she had a bit like swagger. Like that's why Samira. You know Samira. You know in 2018 when I ran into Range Brush and like looked at you and gave you a big squeeze you. It's because the last spoke to me on the phone in my flat. I walked out the flat and I put my thumbs on my heart, and literally the weather around me was completely changing wherever I was going. I felt Jannah, like the weather of Jannah. I saw like rainbows and thunder and clouds, thunder clouds and all that, and it was like literally two minutes before it was like completely calm and still. I walked all the way through West Croydon. I thought something just came over me, so because I really like I kind of fancied you, but I kind of like Samira in 2018, if she remembers. You know that guy who you worked with in Range Bus in Croydon is actually the Imam Mehdi who saved the world. And it's like I squeezed. I wasn't just like a little hug. I went Allahu Akbar, and then it's like she got all scared and like locked the door and all that. But I'm like, well, what I was actually trying to do is just show you that like I'm the Imam Mehdi, and like you don't have to wear your hijab, and it's like you can just like you can dance and like fully express yourself. So that was like a little like prelude to what the Imam Mehdi was going to do like 13 years later, or like what was it, 8 years later. In like I first got like an inkling that I was someone special in 2015 when my formula and my theories came to me. Then I really got an inkling that I was someone special when like Allah spoke to me on the phone. I felt Jannah on earth in 2018, and then like I've had like Jesus returning into my body, and I thought, hang on, there's something's kind of going on here. And then like all these things that happened for the last year, because the Spirit of Jesus in me is like helping me and guiding me, because He's been in heaven for like 2,000 years, and He's seen everything that's been going on in the last 2,000 years. So like the Spirit of Jesus in me is really helping me. But like the biggest thing, I reiterate, the biggest thing I've done is helping the Muslim women who've been oppressed for like 1,400 years to be fully creative and like expressive. I'll end it there.